Platchums! So 2020 was boring, wasn't it? Not a whole lot happened there. But what did happen, which I think was probably the most eventful thing of the year, was that me and Dan got some sweet, sweet platinums. So, as we look forward to the new year, let's take a quick look back before taking a quick look forward to see what we accomplished in the past year and what we hope to accomplish in the coming year. So Dan, welcome back. First Platchums video of 2021. How are you feeling?
Yeah, great to be back after our
3-week hiatus.
I think platinums were replaced with lots of food.
Or combined.
Chocolate. Yeah, combined.
I was eating ice cream with my model platinum.
I didn't get to play as much games as I might have wanted to, but I picked up a few nice games on the Christmas holiday January sales as well, which was cool. 2020 I think by all accounts was a pretty shit year.
It wasn't great.
At the same time, I think most people can agree it's probably their most productive gaming year in recent memory.
I knocked out some plats. I would not have gotten the Red Dead 2 plat. But there are greater things at stake than my platinum collection. But still, just for the record. So, how was... let's get into the figures and stats this. How many plats did you get in 2020, and what was your best platinum you got? It's nearly embarrassing. I got 64 platinums this year, which is far and beyond my most platinum year, definitely. And embarrassingly, I wasn't even trying, man.
I didn't even get time off of work. I was actually working the whole way through. It's just that, obviously working from home, and
as soon as you're done work, PlayStation's just beside you. So it's kind of shocking to me that I was almost impressed with myself for getting 13 this year. An unlucky number for an unlucky year, but you got pretty much half my entire collection in 12 months. You bastard.
Well, I think if we spoke to the quality, there's definitely something to say there. A lot of there's no super quick games. I think the fastest platinum I got there was about 2-3 hours or so. The other ones were, there's definitely a few kind of platinums within like under 10 hours. A few of the games that I had in that kind of short, quick but worth playing games. So there was definitely a few of those. Definitely some hard ones in there. I suppose the standout for me was I went back and I got the platinum for a few games on my backlog, most notably maybe Gran Turismo 5, Grand Theft Auto 5, Destiny 2, kind of big games that I hadn't
been on the back
ever
burner,
I didn't think, a few of them I thought I'd never go back to. I got Battlefield 1 there recently as well, which I kind of resigned myself to never going back to. But I also cleaned up a lot of DLC.
So it was a backlog kind of year for you, kind of to go back and tidy up your profile a bit.
Yeah, I definitely really utilized my PS Plus collection and all the games that I'd accumulated over the years but never went through. Because there was it'd be very easy to burn through a lot of money, but thankfully I had loads of games there that I'd never downloaded, never played, and then loads of games that I just never finished. So even though I played a lot of games, I got a lot of platinums, I didn't really spend much money at all. I'd say maybe 200 quid this year on games.
Actually it was the first Christmas I didn't get a game from Santa. I don't know, maybe I'm getting old, man, but
maybe
I did get gifted Ghost of Tsushima 2 days ago, which I'm grateful for. But Yeah, like this past year was really like a kind of a backlog year for me as well. A backlog in my sense, because I think you truly have a huge backlog, and it was kind of I'd say immediately the first platinum comes to mind, which I was delighted to get this year, was Yakuza 0.
Great game, yeah.
Just to
platinum.
like that was a year or 7 months or whatever, but it was start lockdown. It's like time to really get stuck in, because I hadn't properly gone for it until everything happened. So that one, I'm like, okay, that's a sweet, ultra rare, great game, difficult plat, multifaceted. So I was glad to get that one done. And even though I only got the Red Dead 2 Platinum this year, I would say most of that work was done in 2020, to be fair. So I'm going to cheat a little bit on the system that we were coming up with, so it's okay.
Was it New Year's Day you got it, or
like 2nd of January, and I got Life is
2nd,
Strange 2 on the same day. So it's like a bus stop, two come at once. But just if we're strictly speaking 2020, Yakuza 0, Resident Evil 2 was one that that was kind of the first one I knocked out, and I also I played a game that I missed on the PS3, Sleeping Dogs. I played the definitive edition, and Death Stranding would be another platinum that stands out to me, just because it's another kind of big, kind of long game, but I love it. I think as time goes on, I have a bit more love for that game. So overall, then, like smaller games like Unravel, Gree, and unfortunately I didn't get the Days Gone Platinum. But
eluded you again, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see if my PS4 can survive. But so overall, like, I think for me, it's not 64 Platinum, but I think 13 is a little above my average. Normally it's like 9 or 10 a year, so I think I can be quietly content. And like the last thing with this year is that I've pretty much gotten to the highest completion rate I've had in at least 3 years. I'm up on 99.62, just to gloat, just to rub it in. So I only have like 4 games that I can actually legitimately still get trophies in. So I kind of accomplished my self-given goal of tidying up the really long, grindy games that were sitting on my list for like well over a year, and just kind of catching up on games I missed and just having fun. So it was a good year. For
games, definitely.
For platinums.
Yeah.
Well, specified.
Not for much else.
Yeah, just in terms of my platinum hunting. And yeah.
What do you think was the worst game you played this year, or maybe the least enjoyable? Even if you didn't add it to your trophy list,
Well, I think the worst game I played was on our Platchums account was My Name is Mayo. I just had to go at it, but I'd say the worst game, I think the worst trophy I went for this year was probably anything with New Game Plus. Like Yakuza 0 had a legend mode, and that was like another like 20 hours. Now, like, I did tear through it in fairness, but it's just that I just go on autopilot.
Yeah.
But I would say overall the game that I'm struggling with the most is Days Gone on my actual list. I don't know, I think going straight into that second playthrough killed whatever love I had for that game. I just think that once you finish the story and go back to it, you realise just how kind of bare bones it is, and there's not so much in outside the main narrative for you to actually do, and the horde mechanic only really comes into it in the last kind of third of the game. So I would say, like, I don't want to be too mean on the game because I've ranted about it enough, but I'm coming at it too much from a trophy perspective, but I feel like I'm really just struggling to will myself to play it. And like, I'm so close. I'm almost done my New Game Plus and survival playthrough, and I think I just need 40 more collectibles. But the whole fiasco of my PS4 break, and I lost the progress that I made in like 2 days or so because it didn't auto-upload the save, whatever. I think I'm just bitter. I'm just bitter towards that game. Well,
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
In fairness.
What about you? What was the worst game? Because you definitely played more games than I have this year.
You know, I can honestly look back at my list. I'm just scrolling through it here.
I'm gonna have a little scroll.
I don't think there was a bad game on my list, to be honest, this year. I enjoyed every single one of them. Maybe some definitely more than others. But probably the game I enjoyed the least is one of the most recent games I'm playing, which is Worms Rumble.
Oh, you took the plunge.
Yeah, see, it's a PS Plus game for the PlayStation 5, and you know, like as an early adopter, you're always, you know, clamoring for anything, and your standards drop.
Yeah.
Your standards definitely drop a bit. So I went for Worms Rumble. I'm usually like not a huge multiplayer focused gamer these days. I definitely was in my youth when I had hair. When I had long hair, yeah, maybe that gave me my quicker reflexes or something.
Your edge.
Just the flick. But I enjoy some multiplayer games. I like the kind of, you know, every game in Worms Rumble only lasts maybe 5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah, that's a good time frame. Like,
yeah,
these days,
it's pretty quick. It's just and to be honest, like I think it is a decent game. No question about that. Like it's good fun. I'm having fun with it. It's just the platinum journey there. You know, I've put probably 100 hours into it, just playing it. You know, every here and there. You know, and I'm still like ranked 32 out of 50, and like the levels are going slow, like really, really slow. So I don't know how long it's going to take me. I know I'll get there eventually. Just playing it, you know, very sporadically. It's just, yeah, God, you know, I wasn't expecting that when I picked it up as one of the free PS Plus games.
I think it's one of those where the aesthetics kind of fooled you into thinking, this won't be so bad to Plat.
There's a few glitch trophies in there as well. So the platinum's still sitting at 0%. Now there's a few like. There's no trophy other than the platinum at 0%, so I don't know what the story is there. It seems that some people are having difficulty with different trophies on the list.
I always worry when I see that, like, I remember Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, when I saw no one had the plat after, like, even a week, I'm like, this might be this might be a grind.
Yeah, if there's no one that has already put it in, because you can always assume that there's
someone
one
out
guy,
there. Yeah,
he's just played it every single day for 20 hours minimum. You know.
Yeah, you and like those guys who are the true heroes like to tell me quite quickly whether or not this is obtainable or not. But I actually forgot. I was just quickly perusing through my list. The worst game I actually played was Resi 6 because I went for the 100%. That's actually clear cut. We'll leave Days Gone alone.
Objectively the worst, yeah.
Like, I love it because it's such B-movie tack, but when you actually get down to the DLC, because the main campaign's always fun playing co-op, I think games by design, even if they're awful, are always fun if you've got someone else beside you. Like, co-op can really kind of elevate an experience, but the multiplayer modes, the competitive ones, are just god awful. They were terrible in Resi 5, which I also got the 100% for, and they're just infinitely worse again in Resi 6. And the fact that like it has to be a boosting session, like no one plays it for good reason because it is so shite. But for 2021, do you think you'll top 64 platinums? Like, what, do you have any goals or ambitions for the year?
Yeah, you know, definitely not. I won't see those numbers again because I hadn't really dipped my toe into the indie platinum scape. You know, so there was definitely there's a lot of backlog on kind of shorter experiences. Still kind of like story centric ones. You know, for example, like I cleaned up a lot of the Double Fine games, or the kind of smaller ones. Like I did Life is Strange, those two. I did 2 of the Walking Dead seasons. I did actually the 3 Life is Strange, Before the Storm and 1 and 2. Then there was some smaller games that I got as well. So there was like a big backlog. I had like the whole catalog of all the sales. So every time a sale went on, I went through it. I tried to find like interesting looking games.
You played a good variation of games, like even just there, you know, you said you went back on the PS3, you got Gran Turismo 5, and GTA 5, but then, you know, stuff like Life is Strange and, you know, smaller indie games. Like you played a hell of like a variation this year. It seems like you were just free to just spread the net out as far and wide as you wanted to. Yeah, no, that's cool, man. That's cool. Like, you got some juicy plats this year. Like, I think it would be a tough ask to beat 64. Like, I think I'd be happy to I would love to get to 150. I would love, I'm at 134 at the moment after Red Dead 2 and Life is Strange. And I would like to get to 150. That, like, it's just an arbitrary number, but I think before I make the leap, I think there's enough really great games that I haven't played yet, say like Ghost of Tsushima, and I think that's quite doable, like 16 in the year, and I've already got 2, so it could be 18 if I hit that magic number. So I think that would be the only thing I'd kind of say. It's like I'd like to end the year with 150. I think that's kind of like a nice number to kind of finish maybe the PS4 generation with as well. Yeah, absolutely. I think you're definitely capable of getting that in the next few months if you like wanted to. Yeah, like there's some shorter games that I've had an eye on for a while because I'm looking for kind of like a palate cleanser after all these big open worlds. Says me just getting Ghost of Tsushima. So you know, more experiences maybe like Gris or you know, like the games that I actually haven't finished. I'll probably hopefully get the Tony Hawk Platinum, maybe get the Days Gone one. So there's like games that are already on my list that, you know, 90% of it is done. So yeah, no, there's still a fair few games, but that would be mine. Do you have any goal? You're on 233, I believe. Yeah, 222. Oh, sorry. So yeah, so 222. Which I didn't even notice 222. It's alliterative. A while before I see the triple digit, again like that. I would love to get my completion rate up to 90, or like kind of at a steady above 90. So even when I'm, you know, playing a few new games, even that'd be awesome.
Drop below that 90. Yeah. So I'm at 88.65. Was a bit higher, but then I started Fallen Order, so I'm a little bit lower now. But
you started the year at like 70 something. Like, you really tore through your backlog, and I think that, you know, it's even more impressive when it's an account like yours, because I feel like once you go a certain length without really concerning yourself with a completion rate, it becomes so much harder to kind of claw back up to that kind of 80, 90 plus.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like, you know, what I was saying about the amount of money that I spent this year on games. Like, there was definitely a few new games that I picked up or that I borrowed from people and things like that. I think I'm trying to think of new games that I actually purchased myself. Obviously, I got the PlayStation 5, which was a big expense, and I got Demon Souls with that. But I had that money planned for a long time. You know, that was on the household budget for a long time.
Just a penny jar, you know, for 7 years.
But like, in terms of new games that I actually purchased myself, I got The Last of Us Part 2, I got Neo 2, and I got Kakarot Dragon Ball Z. I think those might be the only like kind of 3.
I'm actually trying to remember the games I bought myself. I got a code for The Last of Us Part 2 from a friend, which was just like amazing.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, you were like blown away.
I was blown away. And I'm really struggling to actually think of any games. I got myself Deus Ex Mankind Divided, the physical edition, even though I owned the digital, because it was like €4 when I went to buy GTA 5 for my cousin. But she ended up buying the digital version, so now I have GTA 5 as well on PS4. I don't know if I'll ever like play it again. Might play it on an alt account just for the crack with, you know, friends or whatever, just in the online. But God, I really couldn't tell you what I bought. Oh, Life is Strange 2. I bought Life is Strange
Like
too.
I picked up a lot of indie games on the sales, but like,
Yeah.
you know, it would be the beauty of those sales is that most games that I purchased were a few euro. You know,
Yeah.
like we're looking at under €5, £5.
Like you're getting
kind of money,
paid
like,
to download them, like, you know, like they're
yeah,
that cheap.
effectively. Like I'm looking through my list here, and there's like I just remember like because I have this app on my phone. It's I think it's called PlayStation Prices or something. There's a few different ones that you can get, but the one that I have has a pretty good like kind of display of all the games, and then a wish list, and it'll show you when it's on
Oh, so essentially like
on
Steam,
sale or something.
pretty much. That's cool.
Yeah, and it's
Sorry, I shouldn't say
so
Steam. I'm going to censor myself.
yeah, I've got like a wish list there still of like maybe 20 games or so, and it just shows me when they're on sale, and I you know, that was a great tool to have because it just meant like if I was looking at reviews, I'd be able to just add it to the wish list if I thought it looked good, and pick it up. But the year, like for me, it was really just going back and utilizing my library. Like I don't think I think I probably only have a handful of games now that I haven't actually finished physical. Like I have maybe about 50 PS4 games physically, something
Yeah,
around
I
that.
think I have Prey and The Last Guardian. They're the only two that I own that I haven't played, and I guess Deus Ex now at this point. But yeah, I've pretty
Yeah,
much
it's-
finished all of them.
Yeah, so like you know, it was I always want to go back and play the games, but I never did. But then just this year, just with I really wanted to get my rank up a bit because I think at the best I ever was, I was in like just the top 30 in Ireland. So that would have been like, I think I
The
was
real
around maybe,
leaderboards,
like,
people. The Irish leaderboards where it's at. That's where the big boys play, I'm telling you.
It was about like 7,000th in the world or something, something along those lines. But then I like really dropped over the last few years because I just wasn't like keeping it up. I wasn't as consistent. So I think I was out of the top 100 or close to it. So this year then I've gotten back up to like 45.
That's actually like top 50 on the island, man.
Yeah,
You know, you're swimming
the
with
whole
the sharks.
island.
The whole island. No, you're like, I think I'm like 190 or something. Like I think it's me and like 3 other lads that are just constantly kind of swapping places. You know, aggressively
But
kind of middle of the pack stuff.
Like at this level, I don't think I'll be able to go any higher. You know, because
I think,
the people
yeah.
who are higher than me, you know, kind of this is the level that like my play time, you know, sits
Yeah,
at, if that
I'd
makes
also
sense.
just say your tastes as well, because I think at that point you need to make the conscious decision to just buy really shitty Ratalica games and stack them. And I like collecting the trophies for me, and I know you'd be the same. And I think to arbitrarily go up a leaderboard isn't worth the actual financial investment for the shitty games to get it to that level. It's just not for me. If you want to do it, go for it. But I don't know. I think that that's like a conscious decision. I'm going to step into this market now, and you're just swimming with not sharks anymore, manatees. I don't know what you call them. But
I think this year or 2020 was a great year for me to actually like, you know, do what I wanted to do and go back and finish these games, like even in games that I knew I wasn't going to get like 100% in, even just to kind of to clean them up. Like for example, I'm at the minute I'm playing Sniper Elite 4, and it's a game that like I know I'm not going to get the plat for. It has co-op, it has multiplayer, it has a really hard single player where you actually have to be a good sniper. Like
Damn
you
it.
actually have to be a good sniper with the wind and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, Jesus.
You know, I'm kind of resigned that I won't bother going for the platinum there, but I got my percentage up from
you
like
can tidy it
30%
up,
up to 70%, you know. So yeah, things like that. So I think if I can get my percentage up, you know, to maybe like the 91 level, then if I've got like, you know, a few new games, it won't drop below that 90 again, and then I just want to keep it above 90%
Yeah,
completion.
I think even just with an account like yours, with the sheer amount of games on it, just to be over 80, I feel like over 80% is already like excellent, and then I think 90 is kind of like that kind of, you know, elite, being fed grapes territory, like just saying. But yeah, no, it was a good year for Platinums. Not much
What was
else.
your favorite game of the year? Not like, I suppose, not an official game of the year, but what game did you have maybe the most fun playing?
Oddly enough, I actually really enjoy is playing Life is Strange 2 because it's a game that me and my girlfriend can play. And I think she's really into those kind of like narrative kind of decision making games, and it's just a fun one just to kind of deliberate and discuss like what choice we're going to make. In terms of single player, it's a toss up between The Last of Us 2 was great to play, like the gameplay was phenomenal, and it just feels like an evolved form of Manhunt. Which, and kind of like, I like the onus on stealth, and I thought the first playthrough, whatever about, the narrative, that's a whole other video, but I just really lap that shit up. Just the exploration, the stealth, the kind of really gritty, kind of brutal combat, just the level design, just there's so much to admire in that game, just objectively speaking. And then for the pretty much opposite reasons, I would say Death Stranding, just for how kind of docile and calm and kind of relaxing it was, and just the atmosphere of it, and just the fact that it's like the inverse of what games normally are, where like everything happens in between point A and B, as opposed to you start here, you get here, cutscene, set piece, whatever. It was just about the journey instead of the destination. So that'd be the two standouts for me. What about you from your list of 64 Platinums?
I suppose maybe if we're looking at it from a cooperative playing with others standpoint, Astrobots has been just a huge win. It's been a huge win in my house. My kids adore it, and we play it every single night, without fail, every single night before they go to bed. So it's a great fun. It's the first game that they've been really into as well. Which is so much fun playing with them. It's always been like one of my goals to pass on my love of gaming.
Have an army of platinum hunters behind you.
Yeah. They won't be allowed to put their games on my account even when they get to that stage. Yeah. No, not a chance. But they can have their own account, no problem. They're just better not be any crossover, I don't want any Lego
don't
games
sully,
online.
Don't sully your father's trophy list. It's older than you are.
But in terms of games that I really I suppose really enjoyed playing myself, I'd have to give it to Final Fantasy VII Remake, just because it was a game that
I have your copy of that, but I haven't even... God damn, so many games.
That's another game that I bought brand new, actually. I forgot about that one. But that, a game that I was just waiting for so long. I've played every single Final Fantasy game ever. I haven't played much of 14. That'd be the only I'm not at MMO stage anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, but, that needs time.
Yeah.
And a certain mindset.
In terms of Final Fantasy, and 11, I suppose, there as well, just that caveat. But in terms of games I was waiting for, Final Fantasy VII Remake was like a
dream come
true.
true.
It was a game that I was audibly excited for when I saw it first. So it was such a fantastic thing to actually get to experience, that it actually came out and it's actually good.
That this is a real thing that actually happened after all the rumors and wishes of the fan base for a decade or more, and it actually
and they did so well with it. The fact that they I don't want to spoil it, but they changed just enough so that the next installments are going to be really interesting. The combat is super fresh and really exciting. So I think that just worked so well. It was such a great game to play, and I think with such a strong year of other games, say The Last of Us 2 and The Last of Us 2 dominated everything in terms of game awards, but it was easy then to forget about Final Fantasy VII being such a huge moment for gaming. And then in terms of like other games that really stood out for me, I'd have to say the Shenmue series. I played them for the first time ever, and I just like fell in love with them. I just thought they were so
I still like, I played the first one, like, got on my friend's Dreamcast, you know, years ago. And I'm still kind of thinking, you know, I would like at some point to see them, like, they might make the list of games I need to play before I make the leap to PS5, but we'll see what the year brings. But I think we're gonna leave it there. So interesting year. Hopefully the coming year will be a lot better in more ways than just trophies and platinums. So anyone who's made it this far, thanks for watching. Hope you have an excellent year. You stay safe, happy and healthy, and that you get all the platinums that your thumbs desire. So
it's Dan, like you know, we're kind of moving into that you know, what culture positivity thing.
Oh, like Jules, that you're loved. You are loved. Don't do it. Okay. So patronizing at the end of every video. Like, I know I'm just interested in the video. I don't need help.
But yeah,
yes,
no,
you, Nathan.
You know, happy New Year and happy new platinums to everyone.
Yes, so first high five of the year. I don't know what that noise was. I'm just so damn excited for 2021. We'll cut to some awful footage of just the world exploding. Anyway, see you guys. Platchums!